This is the man with the most badass name in sports, the Pharaoh, the Egyptian god himself, Amon-Ra St. Brown. And on behalf of my man VonAllen, we want to thank you for your support. Let's fucking go.
VonAllen Sports.
That was outstanding on so many levels. Look at that torque.
Look at that torque. Look at the kitty. Look at the torque on the kitty. Meow, 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 meow. 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 Meow. I'm a floating kitty. Ah, shit. She's like, what are you doing to me? Cat Allen Sports. That's right, baby. Cat Allen Sports. Hang on just a second. Having a little bit of watermelon. Got to get something to eat. Is that the barber? Took a little while. Took longer than expected. They said they could get me in 10 minutes, and they took 30 minutes to get me in. They lied to me. So I didn't get out till just now and rushed home, and here I am. So Mike Evans is back, looks like. And I keep hearing the name Kobe Bryant, and it's giving me PTSD. There goes Baker, and he throws it to no one. Good job, Baker. So are they going to be back in these uniforms now? Are they like permanently? They should start doing that, right? The Buccaneers should just stay this way, right? But the logo should be Tom's face, not the old pirate. They should just put Tom's face because he's, you know, he's the one. So let's go. What up, biatches? Mediocre pirates versus dead birds. That sounds more realistic, motherfuckers. Mayfield dancing like a retard and then gets knocked on his ass. That's some good quarterbacking right there. Okay. How you guys doing? Who's here? Elf is first. He beat all of you. You guys are all slackers compared to Elf. Look at him. He was here before I was. Shit. Tyree, what's up, man? Tyree joined my chess club. That's right. I have a chess club now. Oh, and there's a flag. Let's see. Israel, what's up? Sierra Chubbs. John Thomas Chavez. You know, I don't like the way the new handles are written. The names. Like, it used to just be your names. Now I've got to read the at blah, 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 whatever. It's really stupid why they do this. It's I like it the way it was before, where could I just see what your actual name is. Now I see your handle, like your @ handle, and it's, I don't know. I just don't like it. It's not good for me because I'm glancing down real quickly. So Phil Williamson, what's up, man? Yeah, is Mike Evans ever healthy? That's a good point. Minuteman is here. So is this like a pointless game? I mean, the Bucks don't even have a chance to make it. I mean, I guess they technically do, but are we going to be realistic here? I don't think so. Well, if we're talking like John Madden, an ass cheek, the left cheek counts as 2 feet. So if the right cheek hits the ground, that's also 2 feet. And what I see is a right butt cheek on the ground. And therefore, we would call that down by contact. And it would be a first down right there where the butt cheek landed. So I think the officials are probably going to spot it at the place where the butt cheek landed. That's exactly how John Madden would have called that play just now. And you guys know it's true. Like, I've heard a play like that before, where he's talking about a butt cheek is worth 2 feet, something like that. 2 feet down, something like that. Yeah. So, Blind Assassin, what's up? He said he's watching my KC and Houston game highlight. Yeah, I was in a mood that night, man, because it was fun just watching them burn. Nightly Sinister, what's up, Kevin? He's at work and bored. It's stupid. Yeah. Well, I get you. Slow night. Yeah, so Phil, this Bills game coming up is big deal because it's not just about maintaining the first seed, but if we slip up at all, we could lose the division. But if we win the division, then we can knock the Bills back a bit, and maybe they'll have to play like pretty good team, you know? That would be nice. So if we could just get the number 1 seed, get the bye, maybe they get knocked down a bit. I don't think they'll get knocked down too bad, but if we can knock them down to like the 6th seed, that might work out. So that might be pretty good. I don't know. We'll see. It depends. But if you guys looked at my thing, I posted my predictions, then I don't think we get the first seed, honestly. I expect that this game. Okay, I don't expect to lose. That's not what I'm saying. But I don't expect us to run the table either, because it's the NFL, dude. You can't just sit there and say, "Oh, we're just going to win every game." That's really naive. Even when Tom Brady was playing, I was like, "Oh, there's some games that you're probably gonna slip up on," you know. But if we're going to lose a game, it's this one, in my opinion. So, Al Michaels said right butt cheek. Who knows football more than me? Who knows football more than me? Come on. I knew the butt cheek was coming. What's up? Israel says, I think the Bills will beat you guys on Sunday. Oh, now it's us guys. See, Israel. See how Israel is? Now all of a sudden it's you guys are going to lose. You guys. Thanks, Israel. Appreciate it. You bailing on us? That's true, Phil. Okay, so we have running up the middle, and it's a touchdown. Good job. Sean Parker. An 83-yard, 11-play scoring drive. That drive took 4 minutes and 44 seconds. Pretty good drive. Pretty good drive. He said jumbo. Sierra says, I'm ahead of him for once. I'm ahead of her for once. I know. What happened? What's going on? I'm usually far behind. I'm everybody's celebrating in the chat, and I'm just like, hey, look, a touchdown. Like 10 minutes later. So stupid commercial. So we have some things to talk about today, guys. And considering that this game won't require too much of our attention, at least not a crazy amount anyway. Not unless it's just really good, but even if it is, it doesn't amount to much. Oh no, the Falcons, they might struggle now. It's devastating for them. You know, I've come to the conclusion that most LeBron James fans, not all, but most, are utterly delusional. Like, it's as if nothing ever existed before LeBron. It's very strange. If you're ever on X, you'll know what I'm talking about. Yes, from the schedule to you guys, that is an improvement. Let me turn this down. Al Michaels is just bleeding in my ears. Okay. Israel asks, Aaron, who would you trust more in the playoffs? Houston or Denver? Well, let me ask you this, Israel. Since your name's Israel, if I'm mean to you, does that make me anti-Semitic? Is like, is there like a rule for that I should be aware of? Okay. Anyway, we'll come back to that. I trust Denver way more than Houston. Okay? Here's why. Denver's home is a home field advantage. Okay? So you can say what you want about their, their offense or whatever you want, all that shit, right? But they have Denver. They have the Mile High City, and that's a huge advantage. So that right there already helps them. The Texans play inside Reliant Stadium. Every team can play indoors. So you're not getting an advantage there. Not really. It's good for stats and stuff if you're a quarterback that plays there every week. But as far as like winning a playoff game, I mean, you saw what advantage it gave the Rams. And this Super Bowl, by the way, this one, Super Bowl 36. Look, quarterback club. Who remembers that shit? Okay, that's old school. Anyway, Super Bowl 36. The Rams were a dome team. That was played in New Orleans inside a dome. And it didn't make a difference because the Patriots like, well, my God, we play outside. I mean, indoor, that's good. So it's not like an indoor team going to the cold. I don't trust I don't trust their offense that much. Even with the KC game, they were about to blow it many times. It was very weird. I like Denver's defense better, and I just think they're all around better team and they're better coached in the end. So they got Sean Payton. So it doesn't mean I think Houston sucks. It doesn't mean that I don't think Houston can do something. They got a good quarterback. Although they've got two good quarterbacks. I actually think Davis Mills is a pretty good quarterback, and he probably has a future in the league somewhere else. But I just trust. You asked me the question. I just trust Denver a little more. Yeah. Phil said it well. Both have throwback defenses, and that it's true. And you know who else does? We do. So the Pats are, dude, they're flying around like it's Super Bowl 36. They're hitting people. They've got this energy. They're trying to fear they want the opponent to fear them. It's just a different vibe right now. I love it, man. It seems like old school Patriots football. We haven't seen, because the team, it changed. It became reliant on Tom Brady, and it was all about Tom. And if Tom didn't play well, then it was over pretty much. So this is kind of reverting back to where it's all about just breaking your opponent. What's up? Why are you hiding? Who let you out of the basement? Someone let her out of the basement. So Alva Courage picks Denver. Do I think Morris will get fired at the end of the season? Probably not. The video of LeBron screaming in that guy's face is absolutely pathetic. Yeah, I don't even know. Who won that game anyway? They lost. So the scream was for nothing. Yes, Chris Collinsworth likes being behind. He does. It's true. Patriots assaulted the Rams that day defensively. Yes, they did. And I'll tell you what, man. I'll tell you something about that Super Bowl. When Kurt Warner hit Ricky Prohl for that touchdown at the end, I was like, well, shit. That it's, what'd you expect? What did you expect? That's Kurt Warner. It's the MVP. It's two-time MVP. It's the greatest show on turf. And the fact that we had held them to so few points was weird. And I was expecting a blowout that day. And we get all the way to the end of the fourth quarter, and I'm like, we're winning? Like, what? What is this? Is this a joke? Like, and then he hit Ricky Prohl, and I thought, okay, it wasn't meant to be. But hey, we made it look good because I thought it was going to go to overtime, and then we'd lose. It's just. I've seen this before. I saw it in '96 when the Patriots went against the Packers, and we played well for a second, and then all of a sudden just fell apart. But I was like, we lasted for a while. Keep in mind, I was also bitter that Drew Bledsoe wasn't playing. I was actually, dude, you can ask my friend I was with that day. I was yelling at the screen saying, well, if Drew Bledsoe was playing, we'd have more points than that. I said that. I actually said that. In the game, in the Super Bowl, I said that. Can you believe that shit? If Drew Bledsoe was playing, we would have more. For shame. Oh, no. And then Tom took him down and in field goal range. And I remember John Madden saying what he said. And suddenly I kind of clicked. I was like, wait a minute. This kid might be the real deal. Because I thought we were just going to down it, going to overtime. That was standard procedure back then. Believe it or not, kids, we used to not go for it on fourth down. And we used to not go for it, even if there was like a minute left, that far away, if there overtime was a possibility. So this was a time where that would have been completely normal procedure to just down the ball. But yeah. And then I realized, wait a minute. This dude he's the real deal. So what can you say? And the rest is history. Care to take a guess who caught the touchdown to tie the game in Super Bowl 38? Super Bowl 38. That would be that you talking about the Eagles? Sorry, the Panthers. Ricky Prohl. Right? Yeah, against the Panthers, Ricky Prohl. Yeah. Again, twice. Yeah. It's a good one. Phil Williamson says Rams would have won in overtime. I agree. I thought that's where it was going. We were losing momentum. We became stagnant. We just couldn't do anything. And Kurt figured it out. It took him a while, but Kurt figured it out. And the reason he went to Ricky Prohl is because Belichick had focused on Torrey Holt and Isaac Bruce and Marshall Faulk. And they just weren't tough enough. They were getting manhandled. They're all about speed and finesse. And they put Ricky Prohl in there, and he got away. They weren't paying attention to him. They didn't care about him. So, but they kind of figured out how to work it. So I knew we were in trouble. Blind Assassin says, I let her out. You let her out. Blind Assassin said he let you out of the basement. He said you needed to escape from the white man's oppression. She agrees. She says this white man has been oppressing her. John Thomas Chavez says, knowing Bledsoe, there's a good chance he finds a way to outdo St. Louis's turnovers that game. Probably. I love Drew, and I love everything he did for us, but probably would have went out there and threw a bunch of picks. Do I think we would have won in overtime against Carolina? Yes. That was a very different game. That was a game where, well, if we got the ball, yeah. But I mean, this is before the Brett Favre rule, where you got, it's not called the Brett Favre rule, but that's what triggered it, which is a good rule. I'm glad they changed the rules. But if we would have got the ball against Carolina, we win. But both teams were scoring either way. But if we got the ball against the Rams, I just don't know. We just weren't doing much, but that's what I thought at the time. Okay, that's not what I think now. No, watching Brady go down the field like he did, well, obviously that would have worked then because they saw what was coming. But maybe the Rams are caught off guard too. Like maybe the play calling would have been different over time. It would have been slower and more lethargic. But in Carolina, that was a shootout. No, neither defense could stop a nosebleed. Belichick's vaunted defense couldn't stop anything. I mean, they couldn't stop Jake Delhomme. So, I mean, I know he's a arena guy like Kurt Warner, but he's not Kurt Warner. Jake Delhomme's not a bad quarterback either. He's actually pretty damn good. But he's not Kurt Warner. My God. Speaking of idiot defenses, Todd Bowles sucks. I will never forgive that piece of shit coach. I will never forgive him for destroying Tom Brady's last season. He is the worst coach in the history of the NFL, and here's why. The worst coach isn't necessarily the guy with the worst record. Okay? You can be 0-16, but your team is garbage. Okay? Your players are garbage. The front office is garbage. Everything's garbage. Even your coaches around you, you're garbage, but your coaches around you are garbage. That wasn't the case here. You had a lot of great players. Just that alone should have got you, to 10-6 or 10-7, whatever. Okay? That alone should have. And how many games were lost because, remember, he was afraid to risk an interception? Why didn't you let Tom Brady have the ball there at the end? Oh, because we didn't want to risk an interception. Oh, really? Freaking retard. No, sorry. It's about what you piss away with what you have. And as dumb as Bruce Arians was, he got a lot out of Brady. Okay? He got a lot out of that team. They should have won that Rams game. And you know why they lost it? Because of Todd Bowles. Todd Bowles decides to blitz. Wrong time, dude. Wrong time. I don't know if you noticed, but it was the wrong time. But as a head coach, no. I lay that at his feet. Gave Tom Brady his first losing season. Freaking asshole. Will Phillip Rivers play for the Colts? So, I'll get back to that. We're going to talk about that. That's one of the things I want to talk about, but just give me a second. Do you have our best possible and worst possible quarterback template saved? Absolutely do, and I'm going to be releasing them soon. John Thomas Chavez says, heck, Bledsoe told Tom right before the final drive to just sling the ball when it came to ball security. Maybe it was just to instill confidence in Tom, but the point still stands. I've thought about that. Maybe it was. Or maybe Drew was trying to sabotage Tom. Maybe Drew wanted Tom to throw a pick. Maybe Drew thought if Tom goes out there and loses the Super Bowl, maybe he gets his job back and maybe they trade Tom. Or maybe he gets to say, I told you so, because he's the one that finished the game in Pittsburgh. After the Super Bowl, when Tom was celebrating with Drew, he's not happy. And I'm not saying he should have been. But how do we know that's not what he meant? Yes, Phil Williamson, absolutely. I don't care about winning the Super Bowl this year. I just want Drake May to win MVP. And we're going to see a Rivers versus Rodgers in the championship game. That's all I care. All I care about is MVP. I don't even want a Super Bowl. I just... we're keeping that going? Okay. Yeah, Brady was having a rough year that year, just personally, and he never brought that up, never let that become an issue, unlike Joe Burrow. But Tom needed some help, okay? For once, Tom needed other people to kind of pull their weight and help him out. And they just didn't care. They didn't care. It shows you how much influence Brady had over the team. It shows you that if he's never there, they never get close to winning anything. Because the moment Tom goes into some kind of like weird depression or he's like not himself, look what happened. Look what happened. So they say that, oh, Tom joined the Bucs and it was a super team. Of course they won. No. Tom came there and completely woke these guys up. And then when Tom was down, they reverted back to who they were. Mike Evans, the same, I'm going to get my 1,000 yards, but it's going to amount to nothing type of thing. That's what they went back to. So, and now they got Baker, and now they're doing the same stuff. It's the same shit. It's a weak minds, no passion. It's exactly what it was before. Yes, John, exactly. What Bowles did in 2022, and this isn't just made up. His own press conferences say this. His own press conferences tell me everything that is saying everything I'm saying. So this is not like me just making up shit. So the Yeah, Israel says regarding the Bledsoe thing. I mean, I know it sounds selfish, but I would also despise seeing my own teammates win without me. It's human nature. It's called being competitive. But Drew put it aside and helped Tom a little bit. I don't think Drew helped Tom as much as he could have. And I think they overstate that, how much it was. Drew wasn't exactly helpful when he gave interviews. With all that said, I understand. I do. How can I be happy for my team when I won the game in Pittsburgh to get us the Super Bowl and I still didn't get to play, and now this other guy wins in my place? You expect me to really be going crazy? You know? You expect me to be like Jimmy Garoppolo over there jumping up and down on the sidelines, looking for someone to hug? So I get it. I get both. But both of these are facts, okay? I'm just saying that I'm not so sure that Drew was really helping Tom out when he said that. Like, maybe he was, but yeah. I don't know. Tapasio, what's up? Darn's here too. Hey guys. Um Sorry. Okay. Tapasio says if the Patriots would have kept Brady, if the Patriots would have kept Brady, or if the Bucs didn't have dumb coaches, he could have won at least 2 more Super Bowls. Well, I'll tell you what. In my opinion, what will go down is the biggest mistake in NFL history, as far as what you could have gotten for little and what you would have gained. Okay? So that scale from little to gained. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Because we're talking how many Tom Brady could have won, post 2019. There's somewhere that he would have won maybe 3. Maybe. Okay? There's somewhere. But it's the biggest mistake that I've ever seen. And if one of you guys guess what I'm talking about, then I'll tell you. I have a freaking crazy headache right now. Give me just a second. I'm going to get an Advil. Phil Williamson says Jimmy's still catching strays on here. Poor Jimmy G. Has nothing to do with him at all, and I'm still slinging shit at him. Dallas is close. Dallas is close. That came a little later. But it was the 49ers. The 49ers the 49ers made the biggest mistake in NFL history. And you could say, well, was it when they didn't draft Tom? No. Because nobody drafted Tom. He went to the 6th round. So nobody knew that. Was it going with Alex Smith instead of Aaron Rodgers? No. It was a mistake, obviously. But was it that big of a mistake? Well, no, not really, because one, Aaron Rodgers, the Aaron Rodgers that we know him to be today, had a lot to do with Mike McCarthy, who was in Pittsburgh at the time, who helped with alter his footwork and change his style a bit. He was a bit sloppy in college. I'm not saying that doesn't happen in San Francisco, but for some reason, San Francisco coaches couldn't unlock Alex Smith's potential. But then you've got 49ers could have gotten Aaron Rodgers. And they still didn't do that. This was recently, right? But the biggest mistake was not going after Brady. And the reason this is on you, it's on you, 49ers, because you knew now. It's not like the 2000 draft where you didn't know. Now you know. Now you know that Tom wants to be a 49er. Now you know his whole family lives there. Dude, what are you doing? You signed that dude immediately. And all he was getting paid in Tampa Bay was a measly $25 million. That's nothing. I mean, what was Jimmy making? He's making probably at least that, I'm sure. All absolutely retarded. When when the 22 season ended, his divorce had been resolved. Everything was, fine. And then all of a sudden he retires for the second and final time. I think he wanted a phone call. And if the 49ers had called, he would have gone. I absolutely believe that. But here's the truth. I don't think anybody called. I think they were that, anybody that would have made him want to rethink it. It would have had to have been the 49ers. But them not going after him and letting the Bucs get him, I can't think of a bigger miss than that. I cannot. I just cannot. It is the worst. It is the worst miss, in my opinion. So. Yeah, if you're a 49ers fan, not losing out on Tom Brady and on Aaron Rodgers, who both are 49ers fans as kids, who both want to play for you, that's brutal, But nothing is as bad as being able to get the GOAT in 2020, and you let him go. Not only do you not get him, but you let him go to an NFC team. So a team that you have a high probability of maybe meeting in like a championship game or a divisional or something. So it's like, okay. I mean, as long as he's in the AFC, it's not really that big of a deal. But what if you run into him? Just very stupid. Their ego was so great that they thought, oh, we don't need Tom. Our system is strong enough. It's the same ego that made, that ownership family, that they're weird, but But Drew still got a ring, yeah. Of course. Well, he earned it. Drew's one of those rare backups that actually earned his ring when he got one. Good catch. Mm. But yeah, Drew earned that ring by his performance against Pittsburgh. So, and I'm not saying that backups don't earn the rings; they do. But I'm talking about where they earn them because they played, and that's a different thing. Like backups, they do earn the rings to a certain extent. We don't count them, but they did earn them. Um, they're usually tasked with simulating the opposing quarterback in practice, and that really does help. That goes a long way. So. If Bill had an actual GM, Tom would have won more. N'Keal Harry over 3 Pro Bowlers. Yeah. AJ Brown was destined to be a Patriot. Yeah, that's true. Everything Mark said, in a way, I'm glad for those mistakes. Thanks to that, right now, the Pats are in an even, maybe better situation with Vrabel and May. I mean, yeah, everything did lead to this, right? So those bad decisions led to getting to pick May, being bad enough to pick May, and then being bad enough to where you fire your coach and then Vrabel's available. So it all leads to that, right? What would we rather have? What's happening right now and what we think is going to happen in the future? Or the last 4 or 5 years have been just mediocrity? What if all these years we had just been like, 9-8 over and over again? You know, it's like we're okay, but, you know, in New England, you're expecting championships, right? I mean, so I don't know. Although that is good though. That's nice, But for certain teams, it's just not good enough. I understand for other franchises, but for like the Steelers and the 49ers and the Patriots and the Cowboys, teams like that, that's, I don't know, man. Like, it just seems kind of lame. So, cutting Joe Montana, that's a good one. That's a big one. I think if you keep Joe around, I think that they probably take another one of those NFC championships from Dallas. Instead of just the one that they got in 94, I think they take one of the other ones as well. So I think they at least go 2-1 on that. And then Dallas would have one less Super Bowl. Tom could have beaten the Chiefs in 2023. Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, well, the Eagles beat the Chiefs in 2023 until the refs decided otherwise. Yeah, yeah, we could have had Debo. Yeah. It's So we got the Colts bringing Philip Rivers out of the old folks home. A lot of people are making fun of him. I personally like it. I think it's interesting. So I have a double view on this. At the same time, I like it. You know, I hope he plays well. As long as it's not at the expense of the Patriots. But I feel that way about Josh Allen. I feel that way about Aaron in Pittsburgh. I hope they play well. I don't want them to suck, you know. But as long as it's not at our expense. But at the same time, it's a reflection on how bad the state of the NFL is right now with quarterbacks. And I've been telling you guys this for years, and you guys agreed. So you guys have been telling me this too, that they are not developing quarterbacks the way they should be. And we kept seeing that every year that we would do this show, we would see rookie quarterbacks and watch them and be like, what is that? Why can't they figure this out? And now we're in 2025 to where almost all those guys are gone now, the old guard. And it's all new people, you know. And so now you see the big gap, and it's depressing, dude. The fact that they had to go and get Phillip because they had no young person available that they could have developed or trusted to not piss away their playoff chances. Dude, that's an indictment on the NFL today. Something's got to happen. Something's got to change. The NFL has got to start, you know, getting with the NCAA and the universities at that level and say, listen, you guys are not preparing these guys for us. Okay. So it's the same thing. Let's say that MIT and Caltech and all these are sending graduates to the government or to Lockheed Martin or to Boeing or whatever, right? And these guys show up and they're idiots. Like, they don't know how to do their job. They don't know anything. If you're Boeing or Lockheed Martin or one of those companies, you'd be like, yeah, we need to talk to MIT. We need to talk to Caltech. We need to talk to those colleges and say, what are you doing? You're not preparing these guys for our company. They don't know shit when they get here. What are you doing? You know? And so there's an expectation there. The NFL has an expectation that you are preparing them for the league. And at least they're learning on a certain level where the next step is the NFL. But they're not getting that. These kids are in college are still at the high school. In mind, they're still high school. And so when they get to the NFL, there's no connection there. It's a complete disconnect. And everything is being learned from day one as a rookie, as where before, not everything was new. You at least understood some NFL level terminology and NFL level concepts. It's just you didn't have as many of them. So maybe your playbook has only got a certain amount of plays, but in the NFL, it's just bigger version of that same stuff. The gap wasn't that bad. I mean, there was a time where a rookie quarterback be drafted first, second overall, and he would come in and he was already a star. You know, there was no, you know, the learning curve wasn't the problem. Let's say that. Okay, that wasn't ever the issue. It was usually just the speed, adjusting to the speed of the game, or whatever, or that they got drafted to a shitty team, and so they're just going to struggle. But now these guys they're in their third, fourth, fifth year starting, And they still don't know shit. They still don't know anything. I mean, it's unbelievable. It really is. Patrick Mahomes does not know how to read defenses. He still doesn't. I see it. Don't tell me he does, because I see it. I know what I'm looking at. He doesn't know. He doesn't know. And Andy Reid has no faith in him to do it. They are reliant on what they learned in college. That is the muscle memory. And if they can't do that, they don't know how to play. That's exactly what's happening. These guys are not prepared. And that's why you got to go back to Phillip Rivers. That's the problem. That's why the Steelers had to call Aaron Rodgers, you know? So yeah, I mean, Kobe Bryant just hit Evans. That's so funny. But Joe Burrow is a throwback, okay? Yeah, he is. I agree. Dude is always injured, so I don't even think about him anymore. Or now, if you see him at a press conference, he's whining about, I'm not having fun anymore. If it's not fun, then what am I doing it for? Oh my God. That sounds like Andrew Luck shit right there. So, you know, even if we got a guy like Burrow who's prepared, well, he's whining like a little bitch. So it's that. It's always something. It's always something. Before, you wouldn't know anything about these quarterbacks. You wouldn't know their personal life. You wouldn't know what they're going through. I didn't even know Peyton Manning had a fucking twins for how long? Like, it was only because there was some kind of conspiracy or whatever about some kind of medicine that was sent to his house, and then we found out. Like, I don't know. I didn't know if they were having bad days or not. I didn't know. They certainly didn't say it in the press conferences. Where's he going? Jesus. Well, that was a first down that really took a lot of nonsense. Oh, that wasn't a first down. That was the line of scrimmage. Oh, my God. And I got my glasses on, so it looks a little different. Oh, no, that's not the problem. The problem is the color of the graphics. You made the line of scrimmage and the first down both yellow. That's weird. Okay. But yeah. But now you so even if Joe Burrow's, you know, prepared for the NFL and he's kind of like that way that we're talking about, now he's crying at the press conference, and who knows why. So everybody's got personal problems. What's his personal problems? And what are they exactly? I mean, everyone in this country goes to work. A lot of people have horrible jobs for shit money. And they have bad things happen in their life. People die and they go through breakups, and then just shit happens to them. They still got to go to work. They don't get to say, "Oh, it's not fun anymore, so what's the point?" Yeah. Dude's made $500 million. Okay? He's got the best weapons in the league to throw to. Yeah, the Bengals aren't that great of an organization, but it's not that bad. Okay? So, you can feel those things. That's fine. That's your business. Just don't say them out loud. You know how that looks? Like to people, to fans who pay a lot of money to go see it? these games? Dude, come on. Stop it. Just stop it. Philip Rivers coming back makes Cam Newton act feminine. Nobody wants to sign Cam Newton. He was shit when he was playing. Dude, when Philip Rivers left in 2020, they were 11-5 and they barely lost. They barely lost to the Bills. They just couldn't convert on fourth down at the end there. But and they lost to the Bills. They were up and coming, and now we know what the Bills are. So it's not a big deal, you know. And it was in Buffalo, right? So the last time we saw him, at least he was playing, you know, leading his team. What was it? What the last time we saw Cam? What was that like? What's the last time we saw Colin Kaepernick? What was that like? And it's a joke that anybody's even bringing that dude up. I can't. I can't even deal with that. So. Oh, Minuteman, you're referring to the if he was a 49er against KC. Yeah. So sorry about that. Yeah. So absolutely. The only reason that the 49ers lost that game is because Brock Purdy could not complete a standard pass. That's it. If they had a quarterback, they win. So that's over. Maybe Ben and Eli are still available. Probably. We just bring back that whole class, right? The whole 2000, what is it, 2004 class. We just bring all of them. Should there be a 40 and up football league? Yeah. Yeah. It'd be better. It'd probably be better. Like, I wouldn't miss a game. You know, I wouldn't miss a game. Like, you guys got all the legends out there. Yeah. Minuteman says, I hope Drake doesn't fall into this trap. I don't think he will. Well, okay, so one good thing about Drake is that he is married to his high school sweetheart. She seems like a very like a homemaker, very standard woman, the kind you keep in a basement, right? And the problem I see with these quarterbacks like Josh Allen and Justin Herbert, now I'm not saying it's a problem yet, but I'm saying it could be, that they're dating famous, vapid, retarded, famous girls, right? And that could be a problem because it becomes more about the girl than the guy. And then the guy starts talking about how I'm more than a football player or I'm not having fun. What's the point? That's bullshit that those type of girls say to you. Okay? Real women will be like, stop whining, you little bitch, and go out there and win mama a Super Bowl. Okay? That's a real woman. The wife who stays at home and says, I need another Super Bowl. That's the real shit. Pits wide open because you didn't know that he might have been a target on the Todd Bowles defense. But you get those girls that Josh and Herbert are dating, and I don't know who Burrow's dating, but by the way he's talking, it sounds like he's dating one of them. But everything's about them. Look what happened to Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson was on his way to the Hall of Fame. Okay? And then it became about Ciara. Really? They just gave up another touchdown to the same guy. Wait, you like that? What the fuck? Well, there you go. Sid Luckman's corpse is probably better than most modern quarterbacks. Yeah, we could like weekend at Bernie's him, like a Joe Biden type of thing, right? He could probably he could probably crank out a few wins for the Cleveland Browns. I bet. I bet. I mean, probably understand the playbook better. That was Josh Allen's first playoff win, and Cam went 7-8. Yep. Carol Owens would be unstoppable in the 40 over 40 club, yeah. Or over 40 league. Tharn says, I still went to work and about my life after your family tragedy a few months ago. So yeah, I don't get the Burrow complaining either. Yeah, I mean, and I'm not saying that he has to not care or not have those feel that way. He can feel that way. That's none of my business. The issue is saying this stuff out loud. Like, why would you say that? It's I know some people are saying, oh, he's trying to maybe force a trade or send a message to the Bengals. That's not how you do it. You don't say those things. There's a way to do that, but you don't say that you're not having fun. You don't say, what am I doing this for? Because it makes other teams think that you are not passionate about playing. Why are they going to give up 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, and probably whatever quarterback's starting for them for a guy who they're not sure is still passionate about the game, right? So that's not the way to go about it. And how do we know that if you don't like something our GM does, that you won't do that to us? So there's different ways to do that with, like, to send that message without making other teams think that you are just done with football entirely. So, Kirk Cousins is still out here playing. I mean, he's the last, I guess maybe one of the last. I mean, he's from 2012 and kind of Russell Wilson kind of fell off to that, and Andrew Luck quit. RG3 got injured. So Kirk is really the last one. So I'm sure Kirk Cousins will probably get another $55 million a year salary from like the Vikings or something next year, or some random ass team, He'll cash in for another 3 or 4 years. This dude has made so much money by accomplishing nothing. It's amazing. It really is. Someone should write a book about how Kirk Cousins has just made his way around the NFL. John Thomas Chavez is a good post. He says, for the lips of an immoral woman are as sweet as honey, and her mouth is smoother than oil. But in the end, she is as bitter as poison and as dangerous as a double-edged sword. And there you go. Darn says the Bengals are just a shit show organization, and Mike Brown's one of the worst owners in the NFL. I think he's the worst owner in the NFL, honestly. But yeah, it's bad. But you still don't say that, though. Minuteman says Joe's response was unprofessional. Also, what are your thoughts on where Burrow should go if he leaves? Well, the problem is he's wanting a place where there's a good offensive line, obviously. He wants a place where there's a defense, but he clearly also wants to be paid top dollar, and he wants his wide receivers to be paid top dollar. Because he made a big issue out of that. Remember? He wanted to get T. Higgins and Jamar Chase paid. So Mike Evans is wide open. I don't know how he's going to figure that out. I don't know how that works, because every team is always going to have a deficiency of some sort. Unless you are doing something you're going to have that deficiency and you've got to make up for it. With Brady, it was put money in the defense, put money in, and into, offensive line. Try to get me some targets best you can, and I'll try to make it work. It's generally, it was like that for a long time. But you're going to take a hit somewhere. There's somewhere where there's a deficiency. And especially if you've got a high-paid quarterback. So if you are the teams that have it all over and they're well-rounded in every position, those are the teams that have a good young quarterback that is playing well, that is on a rookie salary. That's the difference. But that wouldn't be Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow would be getting like a massive percentage of the cap alone, just himself. And how are you going to get all those things? It's not realistic. So where does he go? I don't know. So maybe, I would say San Francisco, but who's going to take Brock Purdy's contract? I mean, what were they thinking? Brock Purdy was never good enough to give him that kind of money. You telling me that you couldn't find one person in the draft that could do what Brock Purdy's doing? Not one. It's pretty rough, dude. Yeah, Dean Spanos is a dumb shit. And but I wouldn't put Stan Kroenke in there. I mean, Stan Kroenke's teams are winning Super Bowls, so and championships. The hell is that? Stan Kroenke owns the Rams, Colorado Avalanche, Denver Nuggets, and Arsenal. Wow. That's a lot of teams. John Thomas Chavez says, you can feel for a quarterback situation to an extent, but when they opt out to take hundreds of millions of dollars to stay with a poor team, then you want your top wide receivers to be paid. You only get so much sympathy. Exactly. Like where are you going to fit that? Be realistic. What's up, Crossbear? Crossbear says hi on Rumble. Raheem Morris, that guy's still coaching. I mean, yeah, whatever. It wasn't enough what he did in the Buccaneers for people to understand that he can't coach. So the Glazer family cannot hire coaches. That's their problem. The only time I criticized Robert Kraft is I got mad at him for that massage thing. I that pissed me off. That pissed me off because it embarrassed the team. And as fans, we have to defend a lot of bullshit, you know, and we have to constantly go out there and do that. It's Deflategate, it's Spygate, it's Spygate 2, it's always something, right? Aaron Hernandez, that's the last thing we need is something that stupid. And you go to a shopping, like a shopping center massage parlor, really, Robert Kraft could have just gotten if he needed a hooker that bad, he could have gotten a very expensive hooker that is quiet. Nobody knows about. Nobody's going to see it. Nobody's going to catch it. That the other rich people do, I guess. So, but you go to the same place where like people and dudes who are in bad marriages and live down the street are going to, where you don't think that someone's going to notice. Maybe that the authorities are onto this. You just had to do that. You had to do that. And that was really embarrassing. And I think that bothered Tom as well. I think Tom was like, what the fuck, dude? Seriously? I mean, at that time, Tom was also thinking about his image after football. And that's not exactly something you want to be attached to, is it? So that pissed me off about what Kraft did. And then he did some things here and there. Like, I didn't like the way they handled Antonio Brown, where Belichick and Tom wanted to keep Antonio, but Kraft got rid of him. That was a bad decision because we needed him, clearly. Let's see. Hiring Gerard Mayo, probably one of the dumbest decisions he's ever made. So there's some negative there too. But you couldn't ever say that he's a bad owner, though. I wouldn't say that. So every owner is going to piss off the fan base. They're always going to do something. But, you know. So it's called Massage Gate. Is that what they called it? Hugh Culverhouse. Wow. Buccaneers were the worst franchise, losingest franchise in all four pro sports in America, the major four sports, when Tom took over. That's some shitty ownership. I'm not sure if this watermelon's any good still. It's weird. I don't know. Maybe that's what it tastes like when it sits in the basement. Does incompetence qualify as a bad owner? If so, the Woody Johnson and Jim Haslett. Okay, so Woody Johnson, the owner of the Jets, that would he would qualify as a crappy owner, yeah. What's so annoying about the Bengals and about Mike Brown is that he's the son of Paul Brown. So that's a legacy, you know, and there's an expectation there. So it bugs me. Like you should know better. It's it's one thing to be a shitty owner and be new to the sport. Okay, like you weren't even a sports person when you were young. You just bought the team because it's a toy to have, and or you bought the team because you wanted to show the high school bullies who picked on you that now you own their shit, right? So that's that's those type of owners. I don't expect them to know a lot. I don't, you kind of expect them to make mistakes and stuff like that, right? But when you are the son of Paul Brown, what's your excuse? What is it? What are you going to say? How are you going to answer that? Like, how come you're making these decisions? Aren't you the son of Paul Brown? Like, what? What are we doing here, man? It, you know. Jim Haslett, he owned the Browns. Speaking of Paul Brown, he owned the Browns for a while. I don't think he owns them anymore. He's he's not. I don't think he owns them. But but it wasn't Haslett though. Yeah, it's Haslam because Haslett was a coach. So, but that sounded right. Yeah, Haslett coached for the New York Giants, I think. Haslam was the owner of the Browns. But I don't know if he's still the owner of the Browns. I don't know who owns the Browns now. But yeah. Dan Snyder. Let's see. Pretty bad. But here's the thing about Dan. Here's the thing about Dan. Dan was willing to pay. Okay. He did put money into the team. He just didn't know how to spend it, how to allocate it. Like giving Albert Hainsworth all that money. He thought he was doing the right thing. But at least he wasn't cheap, like Mike Brown, who's just cheap. So there's that aspect of it. The biggest thing I hold against Dan Snyder is that he changed the name, the logo. He caved to the woke mob. So he should have told them to screw off, but he didn't. Ah. Yeah, the coach Jim Haslett, he was this weird looking dude, skinny dude, tall, skinny dude. I think he coached for the Saints too, if I'm not mistaken. Didn't Haslett coach the Saints, guys? Let's look it up. Jim Haslett. Head coach. He was head coach of the New Orleans Saints. Yeah, I thought so. 2000 to 2005. But I thought he also coached on the Giants, but no. No. Wait, did he play for the Giants? But yeah, I remember Jim Heslop coaching for the Saints. That's kind of an odd looking fellow. But who owns the Browns? Boom, 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 boom. Oh, okay. Jimmy Haslam still owns the Browns. I thought they sold the Cleveland Browns for some reason. Let's see here. Yeah, I remember when he bought the Browns. That was about 15 years ago, somewhere around there. You know what? It might have been, I remember maybe they were listening to offers for the Browns or something. And I thought maybe they just sold it. But yeah, he's still owner of the Browns. Haslam is. Yes. Yes. Darn. Yes. The Giants coach was, yes, Jim Fossil. Yep. That's it. That's it. That's probably who I was thinking about. Yeah. Good call. Boy, that's old school. That's 90s right there. That's 90s, man. Jim Fossil? Man. The Factory of Sadness. Yeah. Oh crap. Guys, I'm going to just take a quick break. I'm gonna get a new Coke. And I'll be right back, okay? I missed halftime because we were talking about owners and stuff. Um, but don't go. Don't go. Because if you do go, then I'll find you. And I know some of y'all's addresses, by the way. Just don't forget that. Watch yourself. Okay. So let's see. Ah, okay. So that the hell's that? They're coming for us. Some kind of helicopter. That sounds military though. That doesn't sound like police. Interesting. Okay, so that I put at the bottom there. That's patreon.com/VonAllen Sports. I want to invite you guys to sign up for Patreon. Um, it's Patreon is actually a place where you support things like this, like you support channels and because they don't get paid, of course, so we don't get paid to do this. But you can also you don't have to pay. You can sign up for it for free. But that's what it is if you've never heard of it. But be sure to go in there. If you're not signed up already, go up there and sign up because I'm going to be posting um, videos from over my history for like over like the last 20 years, 25 years um, regarding football. So things where we would, give assessments on football, funny stuff, us watching the Super Bowls and our reactions to them. I would film a lot of that stuff. So um, I can't post that on YouTube. For one, it's some of it's like I don't think I would just want that to be generally broadcast everywhere. But the main reason is because you can see the football game. And I have to keep that in there because if you can't see the game, then the reaction makes no sense. But if I leave the game in there, then it's going to get flagged and all this crap. So I don't want that. And that would ruin my chances of getting monetized. So, something weird's going on. On y'all's end, is there some kind of delay where I'm like moving weirdly? Is it like, is there a delay or does everything look smooth and normal like it normally does? Because if it's not happening on y'all's end, I'm not going to change anything. But I can see it, and that can't be good. So a bit, it is happening. I thought so. Okay. What the hell is that? Hmm. Okay, I'll just leave it for now. I really honestly don't know what I can do. Yeah, it looks like a low frame rate, like something's up. I'm just trying to see if I can fix it real fast. Hmm. I can't really see what would be causing it though. I don't have any big things running or anything like that. I'll try to close some. That's weird though. It shouldn't be happening. Very strange. But you never know. Weird things can interfere with. It just started doing it too, which is weird. But if I can see it, it starts bothering me. Like, all right. Well, I guess I have to live with it because there's no way to quit out without it ending the broadcast. All right. Wait. I lost the comment section. There we go. You're back. Yes. Nice. Okay. All right. So, guys, could you guys click the? I hate asking you this every time. I know it's annoying, but it helps so much. Can you click like on the video? There goes Baker. He's going to the end zone, and it's overthrown by a mile. I think he was throwing that to Georgia. So yeah. Anyway, so head to Patreon. So patreon.com/VonAllen Sports. Sign up there because that's where I'll be posting this stuff, and you'll like it. It's good. If you want to do a membership and you want to support the channel, because I don't get paid for this, so that would be freaking awesome. It helps to pay for equipment and things and fees and like the Ecamm thing, the software I'm using right now, it costs $50 a month to use it. So it's there's a million things like that, like statistics and all kinds of stupid shit. It's ridiculous. But yeah, so it helps, you know. It's nice. But just make sure you're signed up there, okay? You don't have to do that if you want to, but just make sure you're there. And that way I can send you stuff. So I'll have your email address. I'll have your email address. You hear that? So do you want me having your email address? Yeah. So make sure. And you know what I'm really going to do? I'm going to give it to Nefertiti, and she's going to keep it in the basement. So with all your personal info. So this game means utterly nothing for the Falcons and everything for the Bucs. So this is more about the Falcons wanting to just screw the Bucs up. I know, Elf. I know it's dumb, but it's the software. And apparently it's not doing me much good because it keeps doing this weird frame rate thing. So I know it ain't my internet because my internet's awesome. Yeah, required speed for 5 destinations, 23 megabits per second. Speed test result, 47.1. So I'm uploading, this is streaming to 5 different destinations, and I need a minimum of 23 to do that, or it won't work. And my result is 47.1, so that's not the problem. So there we go. Second and goal. Baker back. Wide open. What's the download? You know what? I need to do test anyway because I just want to make sure everything's working right. Let's just make sure here. Yeah. It's a bit off tonight. It is. 584. It's usually better than that. Upload is slow too. Upload is 27. I don't like it. I don't like that. That's not good. So anyway, why is the rum gone? Where's the rum? Where's the Coke gone? Well, the Coke's no, I got a new one. So like for every website I stream to requires a certain amount of bandwidth. So, you know, I've been streaming to Twitch and I don't even know why. Like, I've never gotten one comment on Twitch that was a real person. I don't. Isn't it just mainly for like video games and stuff? I was told to do that, but I don't see the point anymore. I'm just not going to include that when there's no reason to keep having to use up bandwidth for that when nobody watches it anyway. It's just stupid. Let me go to Patreon, see if any of you guys signed up. No. Let's see. Well, it actually may be that all you guys are already signed up. So, but yeah, I'll just remind you guys again. But oh, Sierra did. Sierra did. Oh, a week ago. Thanks, Sierra. What's up? You out of the basement? Who unlocked you? Who took off your handcuffs? What's up? What are you trying to bring me?
Pizza?
I don't think I'll be able to eat it right now, but
I know.
yeah, yeah. Sorry.
Oh my.
It's too much. I mean, it's not very simple to eat. So go back to the basement now. Okay. You know, they're saying that Al Michaels is like checked out now, like he doesn't even care anymore. He just it's like no passion or whatever. It's there's some truth to that. I mean, I can feel it. Like he doesn't care anymore. God, what kind of throw was that, Kirk? You like that? No, I don't like that. They removed John Gruden from the Ring of Honor? Seriously? I didn't know they removed him at all. Pathetic. Is Brady on there yet? I mean, he'll be put on there, I'm sure, but yeah, Gruden wasn't even supposed to be involved. It was just like, but they saw a way to take the eyes off of the NFL itself and how they turned a blind eye to it, and they used Gruden as the scapegoat. It worked. My God. Oh, he dropped it. He dropped it. He took his eyes off the ball. You ain't going to get chances like that good in the NFL. Like you just it. Ah, what's going on here? There you go. You're not going to get chances like that very often where you're that wide open and it's just that perfect, you know? So boom, 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 boom. It's still ridiculous that the Hall of Fame is a waiting period. Should be a simple Yes, no. How much does that legacy change if they play again? Honestly, I agree. I think it's it doesn't matter if they come back. If they've already done enough to where no matter what, if you can say if they come back, no matter what they do, no matter how bad it is, they're still getting in. What's the wait for? So Kirk and Kirk, guys, did you see that? He went back, he looked around, he's like, oh, I see him. And he threw to absolutely nobody. That was Kirk's best pass of the night, too. Yeah, I mean, there's players that what are you making them wait for? Like, why? Intentional grounding. Yeah, once a guy already crossed that threshold, again, what you do is you ask yourself this. Okay, we have this guy we're looking at. Tom Brady. We're looking at Tom Brady. Okay? It's 2023. He just retired. It's Tom Brady. Now, if Tom Brady comes back and is completely horrible, I'm talking the worst quarterback we've ever seen from 2023 to 2026, would that make a difference in 2032 or whatever when he's eligible? Would it hurt his chances, or would he still be a first ballot Hall of Famer? You would say either he's first ballot Hall of Famer no matter what, or that could hurt his chances. If the answer is, then this player has nothing could happen to where it would change that, then what's the point of making them wait? You know? But if you've got like maybe a guy that's not, but you know my opinion about that. If the guy's borderline to begin with, he shouldn't be in. Oh my God, he just dropped that return. Did he recover it? Okay, idiot. But here's my view of the Hall of Fame. There should be no debate in the Hall of Fame. What's the debate for? Okay, so these guys, they get together, they get in a room, and they start debating different players that's a finalist. Okay, that comes up a list of players, and they argue. One guy is usually like the advocate for one of them, and stands up and says, this, and this, blah, blah, blah. This guy, oh, but my guy did this, that. Okay. What are y'all debating? If you have to debate for a guy, if you have to like sell him or justify him, what are you putting him in for? The Hall of Fame should be, guys, it's a no-brainer. It's obvious. Okay? Look at this. There's no debate. It's obvious. Look at this. Well, there's this exception. Well, maybe this. I don't know. But what about that? Oh, well, maybe we'll make him wait till next year. You know what? He could probably get in about 5 years. What is that shit? You're going to give a guy a statue, a bust in the Hall of Fame with the greatest players who's ever lived. Maybe in like 5 years. Just, he's not good enough now. If he's not a first ballot, he's not anything. Okay? I don't want you. If you're not first ballot, you're nothing. If you are not a Hall of Famer in the first year you are eligible, you are not a Hall of Famer. It's retarded. It's stupid. How's this? There's no argument. There's no reason to debate it. Oh man, Alpha Courage. Thank you, man. Thank you so much. Look at this dude. This dude is the shiznit. Look at that. Alpha Courage, and he sends a super chat on top of it. Alpha Courage sends a $5 super chat. Says, I just sponsored you for $20 a month on Patreon because you're worth it. Thank you. Thank you, Elf. We really appreciate that. Milena, did you see that? From the basement. Do you got good internet connection in the basement? Thank you so much, Alpha Courage. That means a lot. I really appreciate it, man. Thank you. That's fantastic. Let's fucking go. Alpha Courage in with the clutch performance. Is she still in all the bandwidth in the basement? It's you. It is you. It's you. You're the one causing the problem. What are you watching? Movie? Okay. That shouldn't do it anyway, though, right? Alpha Courage says, and I'm looking forward to being the first inductee into the VonAllen Sports Hall of Fame. We should get one of those. Oh, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. The VonAllen Sports Hall of Fame for guys who have dedicated to the channel, who have watched, who have been there. There's a lot of you guys. There's that would be fun. That would be good. That's a great idea, Elf. It's a great idea. I know one guy we're putting in there is obviously Elf. I mean, clearly. One guy we're putting in there is Daniel from Germany. You haven't seen him on here in a long time. But Nightwalker, right? That guy was insane. You know. And you got people who like would call in and participate and stuff, and they haven't been able to in a while, but and I haven't really been doing that. But you got other guys, you got, Red Coat, you've got Israel used to call in. Tyree Vaughn, who's still a supporter on Patreon, and he's always been. I mean, all of you guys, I mean, just about everybody in this chat, I think all of you. Yeah. I mean, that would be cool. That would be cool. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. But do you guys agree with me on this? Yeah. James Johnson. Yes. Yeah. I hate when things like this come up because I'm always going to forget somebody, and then I don't want them to get offended because it doesn't mean that I don't appreciate it. So, there's another guy I'm kind of worried about though. His name's Donnie Harmon. Donnie, if you're watching, just email us, text us, something. Tell us that you're doing okay. Because, I know his brother died, a few years back, and him and his brother had a Patriots uniform, like a costume when they were kids in the 70s. After his brother died, he sent me that helmet. Then I've had other people. I've had a guy put my DVD collection together. He took all of the Brady Hate episodes and put them on Blu-ray, and even printed out like a custom cover and everything. It took a lot of work, dude, a lot of time just to do that. And now I have my entire collection on a Blu-ray. Another guy painted, did a custom painting of Rob Gronkowski, sent that to me with a really nice letter. I've had gift baskets like a Coca-Cola. Tyree Bond's family got me a Patriots jersey. This is VonAllen on the back. I mean, you guys are amazing, man. You guys are amazing. Thank you. Uh, Israel, are you asking me if you're still subscribed on Patreon? Um, I think you are. You should be. I mean, if you didn't undo it or if you didn't change your, maybe you got a different account or something. Let's check. Audience. Okay. Yeah, we have looks like we have Jared Feldkamp. I'm not sure who that is. It sounds so familiar though. See, sometimes I don't know you guys y'all's real names. So, and then there's Brandon Birkland. And I know a Brandon Bellinger. Yeah, Israel, you're still on the $5 a month tier, actually. I think. Hang on. Oh, let me go to active. Oh, no, you're not active. Wait, yeah, you are. Yeah, Israel, you're still active. You're $5 a month. Yeah. So the Patreon paid accounts that are still active are Tong Xiong, who has $10 a month, Israel, $5 a month, John Thomas Chavez, $5 a month. Thank you. James Johnson, $5 a month. Ryan Dyer, our resident Packers fan, although I've not seen Ryan in a while. I haven't heard from Ryan in a while. He's $5. Luke, who's also in our Signal group, I haven't heard from Luke in a while. Kind of worried about him. Luke is $5 a month. Then there's a Christopher Queeley. Again, not heard from him in a while. $5 a month. And then there's James Grant, who's $5 a month. I could have sworn Tyree Vaughn was still on here. I wonder. Elps has not come up yet, but sometimes it takes a while. There it is. There it is. Elf of Courage. Let's go. Just making sure you guys didn't accidentally sign up for the wrong one. It was VonAllen Sports, right? Had the VonAllen Sports logo. Dun 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 dun. Oh, Tharn, see you later, man. Thanks for stopping by. There he goes, Baker. Oh. Did he catch that? He's slow to get up, though. I think he got the wind knocked out of him, didn't he? Yeah, I think he just got the wind knocked out of him because you could see the way he was hit. Okay. Wait. Oh yeah, no, he hasn't shown up yet, but it probably takes a while. But yeah, there are some guys that I haven't heard from in a long time, and just wondering how they're doing. Wondering what they're up to. Maybe they just watch now and they don't type in, but I would like to hear from them though. See how everyone's doing. Very cool. Very, very cool. Yeah, so Patreon allows me, I'm able to upload things that I normally wouldn't be able to upload, or show you guys without worrying about it affecting the channel or something like that. So I can post some really funny shit though. Like, you guys are going to like this stuff. It's funny, especially our assessment of Super Bowl 39. So there's this one where me and my brothers and my friend, two of my friends, Kevin, who Nightly Sinister, who's in the chat here. So we're pretending to be sportscasters. I guess you could call it the early days of VonAllen Sports. But we kept this tournament, the playoff tournament bracket on the wall each week. So we'd all get together to watch the playoff games that Sunday. And when a team would win, we would glue up their helmet and then they would move on, right? But the team that lost, we would put them in the graveyard. So we'd have a printout of the cemetery and we'd put their helmet on the cemetery, in the cemetery, and then give a reason why they lost. And it's usually something funny or something stupid. But so we filmed the whole playoffs like that, following the Patriots all the way to Super Bowl 39, and then of course victory, and did a post game after that. So, but those are things that I would rather not have on YouTube as far as just general public. It's more personal stuff. And then we got games like, for example, watching the Bucs Chiefs Super Bowl in Bulgaria. So I filmed us watching that in Bulgaria, and you've got me and Milena sitting there watching the game, and of course I'm talking during the game, and we're getting excited and jumping around and everything. We got Ramses the cat attacking Milena constantly, to the point where Milena had to put on gloves just to handle him. He was a baby, but he was insane. We got all kinds of get-togethers from other games from the past. I'll be here all day naming them all. But this is good stuff that I would like to show you guys. So yeah, just go to patreon.com/VonAllenSports, and I'll start uploading those for you guys. So yeah, Mike Evans is back now, so he just got the breath knocked out of him. But their record is not bad. I mean, they're fine. I mean, if they just keep winning. Oh, get out of his face, Mike. You're going to get a flag, dude. Listen, when you get a call go your way, you don't get in the face of the other guy because of the call. You just go back to the huddle. You don't sit there and talk. Then you could get a penalty yourself. I mean, the guy's just playing hard against you, and then he got flagged. Isn't that enough? You take a stupid penalty like that, and then it's offset. Yeah, Minuteman was one of the first, one of the earliest. Okay, I'm going to ask you guys a question. Which Tom Brady loss is the hardest for you to watch or rewatch? Like, what's the one that you either avoid completely, or if you've watched them all, if you rewatched them all, what's the one that hurts you the most still to this day, bothers you? Like, because some you get over after a while. Like, I can watch, certain ones. Chris Godwin for the touchdown, and they're trying to make a statement now. They're trying to run away with this thing. Like, there are certain, like a divisional, like the 2009 beat down by the Ravens in the wild card or whatever it was. That don't bother me. I don't rewatch it because it's just a boring game, but it doesn't bother me. But then there's games that piss me off because they should have been won. The Rams game is one of them. The Rams Bucs. It's the recent, but that one pisses me off. I'd say the Eagles Super Bowl annoys me just because that should have been one. But the one that I've watched, but it's really hard, is Super Bowl 42, obviously. But okay, they just converted the 2-point. Now they're up by two touchdowns and extra points. But let's say that we don't count Super Bowl 42. That's like I think we all agree that one, that one hurts the most, right? But other than Super Bowl 42, so let's not count that one. What would you say is the hardest? Phil Williamson picks the 2015 AFC Championship game. That's a good one. So, regular season 2019 for the Dolphins. Oh my God. That was, yeah. Super Bowl 46. Yes, that was bad. But 46 doesn't elicit as much emotion from me the way 52 and 46 or Super Bowl 42 and Super Bowl 52. 42 because obviously we lost the perfect season. 52 because that Super Bowl was a free one. Like, you get Tom Brady playing like that, that's a free Super Bowl. That's just a bonus Super Bowl right there. That one pisses me off. That one's different. Super Bowl 46 was a weird situation where I didn't think we deserved to be there. We were good. We were okay, but the secondary was complete shit, and it was a miracle that Tom Brady even got us that far. But we barely won against Baltimore at home. If it wasn't for that, missed kick, and we probably lose in overtime. The Giants were the better team. So I was more like, that one just doesn't bother me as much for some reason. I don't know why. It bugs me, of course, but just not as bad as the other two. Crossbearer on Rumble says, this is probably an obvious answer, but I'd say Super Bowl 42 still hurts. But he says, then I might say the divisional round loss to the Jets. So yeah, so the divisional loss to the Jets in 2010, at the time it happened, really bothered me. Like, that was awful. Belichick thought it was a good idea to bench Welker at the beginning. So that's always good. Let me tell you something about Bill Belichick. Maybe you guys didn't know this, okay? But what I'm going to tell you links to 2 different incidents that costed us big. And it's all Bill Belichick's fault. So in 2012, Belichick lined up Rob Gronkowski on the extra point. And Rob broke his arm, and we lost him for that year. Two years later, in 2014, Bill Belichick goes to the NFL. It's one of the only times that he really pressed himself on everybody and used his power and used his status to get what he wanted. Because he knew that if he stood up and really insisted, that the other owners and the other coaches would pretty much submit to him, right? But he was going to use it, he doesn't use it very often. He used it this time in after the 2014 season to move back the extra point. So what used to be on the 2-yard line is now on the 15-yard line. That was what he proposed. Well, he proposed actually the 25-yard line. I think they made a compromise. I may not be exact, but I know it was something like that. This is ridiculous, okay? So his argument to win them over is that the extra point kick is not competitive. It cannot be defended. It's pointless. It's utterly pointless. That's what he said, okay? So we need to make it competitive. We need to make it worth something. For one thing, Belichick said this because he thought it gave him a competitive advantage. We had the best kicker in the league. If not the best, one of the best, right? One of the most consistent. So he felt that would give him an advantage over most other teams. Well, they do that. They test it out in the preseason, I think at farther back than that, but then they finally start the regular season at the 15 or somewhere in there. Okay. I don't know if it's changed since then, but or what their opinion was back then. But that stupid rule caused Gostkowski to miss an extra point in the AFC Championship game. Putting us back. And that was why Tom was required to go for a 2-point conversion. Okay? So the worst part of this is that in a play that Bill Belichick himself stood up and said is worthless, ridiculous, right? It's like, might as well not even line up, might as well just give them the point, because no one's going to miss that, right? No one's going to block it. It's never going to happen. That was his argument. In 2012, when he was putting Rob Gronkowski on these useless plays that aren't worth blocking, apparently it was enough to put Rob Gronkowski on that line. Now, this was a play that in his entire coaching history up until 2012, well, actually up until 2014, but at the time that he was putting Gronk out there, none of his teams he's ever coached has ever blocked an extra point. Not one time. So on a play that he admitted was Not even worth it. And a play that he had never converted as a coach to block or anything was worth putting one of the best players in the entire NFL on. That's the genius of Belichick. It wasn't until 2014 when Chandler Jones blocked one. Falcons just scored. So he costed us Gronk on a play that he admitted was stupid and wasn't worth it. So why would you put him out there? And then the rule he advocated for ended up blowing up in our face. Now, the fact that Gostkowski missed it, okay, that's fine. That's more of just an ironic thing, right? I do like the extra points being farther back. But that broken arm thing, I've never gotten over that. Ooh. Did they just go for a 2-point conversion? Did they really just go for a 2-point conversion? When an extra point would have made it 28-21? Did that just happen? Did that really just happen? Did I see that happen just now? What's going on? I don't even understand. I don't even understand the analytics part of this. Oh, whatever. Yeah, James. Or John, sorry. Yeah, so Welker was benched because of the Rex Ryan comments. I remember I was in Dallas at the time, and I remember listening on the radio about that. Wes might be this one. I'm like, there's no way Belichick is that stupid, because no other coach in the league would have done that. You just don't do that. And he did. It was like, nice. That's good. That's very useful. You know who I watched that game next to? Funnily enough, Terry Glenn. I cannot understand what the going for 2 there was for. What's the thinking? That now you have 22 and then you score and then you win with the extra point. But what if you don't make the 2-point conversion? Now you've got to have another 2-point conversion, and then all the pressure's on you to get it that one time. I mean, the overtime rules are favorable to getting to overtime, where you want to get to overtime, because you'll get the ball. at least once, right? So this isn't a situation where you're like worried that they're going to win the coin toss in overtime or something. You don't have to worry about that anymore. So why wouldn't you just follow the pattern that the Bucs have been going by, which is touchdown, extra point, touchdown, extra point? I guess unless your kicker is just completely shitty and you have no faith in him. But if there's nothing wrong with your kicker, then I just cannot possibly understand what this is. You know what? The Falcons, they don't have anything to lose. I think maybe that's what they're thinking. Maybe they just go for the win, but maybe they want to lose. Maybe they want a better draft pick. So that's could be that. Although if they admit that, then the entire team should be fined and suspended. The coaches should be suspended and the owner. Tanking, losing on purpose, doing things to try to lose on purpose is the worst violation you could do in sports. The next worst violation you could do is manipulating the salary cap, like going around the salary cap. But the number one worst thing you can do is lose a game on purpose. That's the most damage you could do to the NFL and to the sport, is losing on purpose. Phil Williamson says, might need to draft another quarterback with how bad Penis's knees are. Yep. Oh, it's picked off! That ball had no velocity on it. Oh my God. It just hung. It was like, intercept me. That's funny, dude. What was that? That's funny. Well, maybe we have a game now. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we have a game. Let's go. Okay. So, there's Robert Alford. You guys know that name, right? First one to tell me what Alford is most famous for wins. Okay. And Phil is our big winner tonight. Phil Williamson says Brady pick 6, Super Bowl 51. That's right. And boy, when that happened, That was rough. That was rough. I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it. And I remember looking at my brother, and we were like, okay, we thought it was over, obviously. And I said, we tried to like make you feel better about it and said, Tom's got 4. I'm happy for Matt Ryan. Happy for Matt Ryan. Like you try to like find a way to deal with it so it's not so devastating, right? That's and then after halftime it became 28-3 and it was just like okay, this is embarrassing. So then all I really wanted was just to make it look less embarrassing. So at least let's make the score look a little better, But there, who the hell knew we were gonna win? I mean, there was a certain point where I felt like we had a very good chance of winning, but not at that time. So these college quarterbacks, and I call them that because they still play like they're in college. They're this type that are just they're always going to play like that. I don't know why NFL teams keep wasting time on them. I don't understand it. It works at the college level, but it's just not. It doesn't convert the same way. Yep. Alford almost had the pick on Julian's catch. Yep. That's true. That's true, Elf. Either the greatest comeback in Super Bowl history or the greatest choke job, depending on who you ask. It's crazy. The things that had to go right for that win is unbelievable. Oh, he fumbled it. Oh my God. Did they get it back? No way. There was no Falcons around that ball. Holy crap. How did he recover that with so many Bucs around him? Look at that. Look at that. How did he end up with it? I still can't see. What? Okay, so the Falcon that came in, he took it in the pile. So he took it from the Bucs onto the pile, and then there you go. Why these guys throw it so hard like that when you're that close to the end zone? I never understood these throws like this. It's just you can't put that much on it and that put it that high. I'd just keep Kirk Cousins around. Why not? Okay, whatever. 5-yard penalty. Still second down. Okay. Of course, you have the coach over there who has no idea what's happening. He's just very confused. Kirk Cousins spends a lot of time holding his helmet like this. Like, I can't believe it's happening. Baker looks a little concerned. You catch it? Sure taking a long time to decide. It's either he caught it or he didn't. What are you waiting on? Like, what are you thinking about what you saw? Do we have another butt cheek incident? His elbow hit first. It's not a touchdown. Okay, maybe it was simultaneous. A simultaneous butt cheek and elbow. But the call on the field has to be overturned only if it's obvious. So this is going to stay a touchdown. I don't know. They're going to have to. Yeah, you can see by the way he's talking on the headset there. He's like, what do I do here? Yeah, in order to overturn it, you're going to have to be able to say definitively that he's out. Boom. I think the elbow hit first. Hit before the butt cheek, honestly. Yeah. It's just not enough. It's not enough to overturn it, but I do think the elbow hit first. But you can't there's no way to definitively prove it. That's a tough break for the Bucs, but that's how it works, man. That's how you have to decide. But I just didn't like how long it took to decide. Like, you either saw it or you didn't. What are you thinking about here? So now they have to go for 2 points. Of course it failed. So it could be 28-28 right now. You guys know how? Brady is the only quarterback to throw a pick six in the Super Bowl and still win the game. That's incredible. Okay, so check this out. So Chiefs fans are on X, right? And they are now complaining that us Brady fans have unjustly compared Tom Brady or held Patrick Mahomes to the Tom Brady standard when that's not fair. Because they're conceding now, some of them are conceding now that Patrick will not ever pass Brady. So what they're doing now is they're trying to turn it around on us, saying that we have held Patrick to an unfair standard and we should just enjoy his greatness. Can you believe that? That's what they're going with. They're saying that to us, that we held Mahomes to the Brady standard, that we were judging him, that, oh, he sucks because he's not Brady. What? It's unbelievable. It's the exact opposite. We wanted to root for Mahomes and good quarterbacks. That's what we love here. We love that. We appreciate it. We may have been rivals with Peyton, but we understood it and we appreciated it. They were the ones that kept saying that he was better than Brady, better than Peyton, and better than Breeze, better Montana, and all these guys. They were doing that. And so once they started doing that, we had to be like, okay, well, if you say that, if you say that Mahomes is going to do all that, then here's the standard. It's unbelievable. It really is how they're trying to cope with this. Sad thing is, I think some of them really believed that Patrick Mahomes was going to get 7 or 8 Super Bowls. I really do. I think I think a lot of them actually thought that was going to happen. They have no idea. They have no idea how hard this is. They have no idea everything that had to go correctly for Tom to be able to do that. So many things have to happen. Not just incidentally on the field. I'm talking about personnel-wise and changes and ownership decisions and coaching decisions and health and it's just everything matters in this case. And they think just because Tom did it. Okay, so this is their thinking. We have a good quarterback, we have a good coach, we have a good team. Then that must equal 7, 8 Super Bowls. That's the formula. In their head, that's the formula. So why can't we win them? You know, it's like, and then so they never celebrated the other ones for what they were. They were just ring counting. It's the same thing with LeBron. They were just ring counting. Nobody cares about LeBron's championships because everyone was just trying to catch up to Jordan, right? Because you had already declared him so. So you didn't let his greatness happen. You didn't enjoy as it was happening. You had already put him up on that pedestal. So all of the winning is just formality now. It's like, well, of course, like that's supposed to happen. So you took it all away. And now it doesn't even mean anything. It's unlike, let's say Josh Allen wins the Super Bowl. His 1 Super Bowl is going to have more meaning than Patrick's 3. Do you know why? Because it's going to be celebrated for what it is. And it's not going to be like, oh, this is one of 15 Super Bowls that he's going to win. As where from Patrick's very first, the commentators were already saying, if there's anybody who can pass up Tom Brady, it's this guy. That's what they said. That's what they said. So everything after that was just business as usual, just counting. So there's no excitement. There's no fanfare. There's no everybody in awe of what he's doing. It's just like, okay, well, whatever. They completely ruined it. And now that reality has set in that it's not going to happen. And more than likely, probably never win another one. Just the odds say that. The realization's setting in, and now they're trying to reverse it and trying to get Patrick to be judged for what he is instead of being held to an possible standard, which they consider an impossible standard. But they didn't 3 weeks ago. They didn't think it was impossible to pass Brady 3 weeks ago, but now they're saying it's unfair to hold him to this standard. Are you serious? These people. Ask the Cowboys fans how easy it is to get back to the Super Bowl. Is Troy Aikman and Emmitt Smith and Michael Irvin, are they walking through the door? Or the other half of that Hall of Fame team, are they all coming through the door? Because that has nothing to do. Those guys that won those 3 Super Bowls in the 90s have nothing to do with the team today. There's no connection. It's just a logo. You're just rooting for a logo, right? Because so many things have to go right in order to win. Let's see, the Chiefs, they won Super Bowl 3. No, Super Bowl 4, sorry. Super Bowl 3 was the Jets Colts. They won Super Bowl 4 and never even got to the Super Bowl. The closest they got was AFC Championship game. Until 2019. And so now they think this is just going to be something that happens forever. Okay. Well, how do you think the Jets feel? Jets couldn't get back. There's some teams that's never even been. How do you think the Lions feel? It's not easy, man. I can't tell if this is just some sloppy ass football tonight or if I'm just not paying attention. Now, Israel, the reason I don't think if Mahomes is going to get another one is because, first of all, Mahomes' play is absolutely connected to Andy Reid, okay? And whether or not Andy Reid gives you an edge in the NFL. The problem is that the league has caught up with Andy Reid's scheme, and he doesn't seem to be changing it. It doesn't seem to be adapting. And that could be because maybe Andy's done. Maybe just he's not going to care anymore. If Andy Reid, if that was stuff was still working, then I could agree with you on that. I think it's probably over. If they miss the playoffs, I think it's over. I've been thinking about this quite a bit. And I've been a little back and forth on it. But now, I think it's over if they don't make the playoffs. If they get in the playoffs somehow, then maybe that will like rejuvenate them and maybe do something for them. But if they're out of the playoffs this year, yeah, I think everything unravels, So, and that will be the end. Because the difference with him and others is that he is not independently good. I don't think Patrick Mahomes is an elite quarterback away from Andy Reid. I just don't. I don't believe it. Okay? And trust me, I have every reason to support Patrick as far as personally. But this is just how I feel about it. I think they overachieved for what they are. They were also perfect for this new NFL. This new NFL was what Andy Reid was waiting for. Okay? Now, his style and the way he coaches and the way he schemes up offenses always worked. It's always been good. He's always been great with quarterbacks, but the NFL could play defense before. And then finally, he got a league that doesn't play defense or is not allowed to play defense. And he found the right quarterback to exploit that with and the right players around him to exploit that. And it finally worked. Like I said, we saw him doing that with Alex Smith. Alex Smith was doing Patrick Mahomes stuff before. It was the same exact plays, same everything. Alex Smith was doing it. I could show it to you. Show me a Patrick Mahomes miraculous touchdown pass, and I could show you Alex Smith doing it the same way. And that's what happened. That's what's been happening. It's just the league finally got to where the defenses can't do what the Patriots did to Andy Reid and what other teams have done to Andy Reid in the past. It's just that wasn't available anymore to have. So he's got no resistance. So Patrick Mahomes is not Josh Allen. Okay. Josh Allen is the guy that you could send him to any team in the league and you're instantly going to be a good team. Okay. You've at least got a shot. Now, if only that sack would have meant nothing because you can just go to overtime. Unless you dropped it. Yeah. Well, Nick Rat could be pissed all he wants, but Josh Allen is better than Mahomes. I mean, that's not even a question. See, what annoys me is that Mahomes is everything that they said about Brady. Everything they said about Brady that wasn't true is actually the truth about Mahomes. That's what's insane about it. Where it is the coach, it is the system, it is those things that are the main factor. He wouldn't do good away from that thing that he's in, right? All those things that they would say about Brady, which wasn't true, and we knew it wasn't true, and we that got proven. It got proven twice. Brady proved it by leaving, and then Belichick coaching after Brady proved it too. And here's the thing about Andy Reid. Andy was already a successful coach before Mahomes. Belichick was garbage before Brady. But Andy Reid already was a proven proven head coach before. So we kind of know the deal there. I mean, when you make Donovan McNabb like a guy who's a ring or two away from possibly being accepted to the Hall of Fame, you're a pretty good coach. That's the guy who threw up in the huddle in the Super Bowl. So it's something funny about that, by the way. Donovan denies that he threw up in the huddle in the Super Bowl because Terrell Owens was telling people that. You can see him doing it. Dude, go back and watch the broadcast on that drive where they're down by two scores. He does. He pukes. They converted that on 4th and 14. Again, is this sloppy game or is this, I don't know, sloppy defense maybe? Now a field goal would win it. That's funny. That'd be funny if they end up winning it, right? Now you need your kicker. Now you believe in him. You don't believe in him to make extra points, but you believe in him to try to win the game for you. That's interesting. But the thing is I've seen Alex Smith do the Kansas City Chiefs offense. And to be honest with you, I think they were still just a year or two away from winning with Alex Smith. So what I'm saying is if Alex had stayed and Mahomes never happened, I still think the Chiefs may have had a chance at getting there. And maybe not to this point because Alex would be like the same age as Rodgers now or something. Maybe not. And you know, his body was much more banged up. But let's not act like that the Chiefs were some shitty team with a shitty quarterback and they couldn't do anything, and a coach that couldn't coach. And then Patrick Mahomes came in and all of a sudden it just like that. There was already something there. There was something there that was proven. We knew that because we were on the freaking end of an ass kicking, an embarrassing ass kicking by those Chiefs. Twice. 2 times. High profile ass kickings by them. So we know what they're about. We knew what they were about before. If he makes this is going to be hilarious. Because you didn't let him kick the extra points, and now you need him to win you the game. The fact that if they lose and the Bucs couldn't beat this team, that's hilarious too. What's Evans throwing a fit about? Just a 43-yarder. Raheem Morris is over there like, damn it. The ownership told me I had to lose this game, and now I'm screwed. If you're the Bucs and you're wanting to make the playoffs, this is the game that you have to win. This is the game that you look at the remaining schedule and go, okay, well, we're obviously going to win this one. You know, you can't lose the easy one from their perspective, right? Like this is the one that you think you got a shot at. This also shows you that division games are hard no matter what, even if the team sucks. The schedule, strength of schedule. Oh my God. Never go Todd Bowles. Never go Todd Bowles. So Mike Evans comes back just to lose to the Falcons. Okay. Well, that's some funny shit right there. That's embarrassing. I'm sorry for all you Bucks fans out there, but that's embarrassing, dude. What's he yelling into this camera for? That was stupid. It's not like this is a blowout and you were just chasing it the whole time. I mean, this is a winnable game. You had it. You were up 2 touchdowns, dude. Pathetic. You guys remember when they were saying Baker Mayfield is Tom Brady because he was just going to take over for Tom, and all of a sudden everything was going to be hunky dory. Remember that? Yeah, that worked out, didn't it? I like those guys in the center field there praying. That's cool. I like how you keep seeing another guy adding on and joining. That's awesome. Very cool. Okay, guys. So, see here. So, because we're at a point where it really does matter. Let's see. Okay. So we have Browns at Bears. The Bears are probably going to take care of business there. So you got the Shadir Sanders hype thing going on there. I just cannot see him going into Chicago in mid-December against a Bears team that is actually good and winning. I don't see it. If it does, then we'll never hear the end of it. Although I don't really care. I don't have anything against them, really. I don't give a shit. But so that'd be interesting. You got Ravens at Bengals. Based on the Bengals actually played pretty well, other than the mishaps by Joe Burrow with those weird ass interceptions. But I'm not liking the way he was talking and stuff. It sounds really weird. I think I'm going to go Ravens here. Cardinals at Texans. Jets at Jaguars. Chargers at Chiefs. Okay. Kansas City's going to win this game. Bills at Patriots. All right. Don't kill me. Okay. I don't have a good feeling about this game. I just feel like if we're going to drop one, this is the one that we drop. And I could just be a homer and say I think we're going to win, but I just think that if we're going to lose, it's going to be this one, and I just don't like it. I don't like this one for some reason. I hope we win. I hope I'm wrong. Commanders at Giants. Who gives a flying shit? You don't even need to play this game. It's pointless. Raiders at Eagles. Okay. I'm rooting for the Raiders. Okay. I'm rooting for the Raiders so the Cowboys can come up and take the division. Do I think that's going to happen? Well, no, but it would be nice, right? So, Packers at Broncos. This is one that is really, really difficult because normally, if a Broncos team is good, I would already pick against them going into Denver. Green Bay's interesting, though, because they are a weather team. Not just weather, but I know that high elevation is an issue. I actually think Green Bay's going to win this. I think they're going to win it on the road and disappoint a lot of arrogant Denver fans right now who are on X who really feeling themselves. Detroit Lions at the LA Rams. I think Jared Goff is going to get revenge and beat the Rams here in town, right down the street in Inglewood. Carolina Panthers at Saints. So now, because of what just happened with the Bucs, this game is everything for the Panthers. So all of a sudden, this game is a big deal. So I'm going Carolina here. Colts at Seahawks. Is Phillip Rivers playing or is he not playing? Would it make a difference if he was playing or not? It's Seattle. What a way to come back and start is in Seattle. It's not like it's in Indianapolis, at least, you know. But no. I've got Seattle winning this because I don't know what is going to happen with the quarterback situation. So Titans at 49ers. That's pretty easy one, 49ers. Vikings at Cowboys. Dallas, man. Dallas, because they got to win. They got to win. Vikings, it's over for them. There's nothing to play for. But Dallas has a shot here to take the division. They can. The Eagles are going to slip up at some point. Dallas, you just got to keep winning. And that's the Sunday night game. We'll probably be together for that one, I think. I think that's a pretty good one. Then Monday night, you got Dolphins, Steelers, and Pittsburgh, of course. They're trying to win their division. They don't really have a lot of competition. Cincinnati and Cleveland ain't threatening anyone. And you got Baltimore, who's kind of awkwardly like, are they good? Are they not good? Sometimes they're good. Sometimes they're not good. Pittsburgh, honestly, is very similar in that sense. But I think Pittsburgh is the best team in the division overall, most consistent. I'm going Pittsburgh there. So there you go. There is your week 15 game picks. Now that these games they matter now, right? So why is Pittsburgh and Miami in a primetime game? Well, the Steelers have a built-in audience, and I think that's probably why. But the Dolphins, I think maybe they thought they were going to be good this year or something. I don't know. I have no idea how some of these games are picked. It's stupid. You would think that Lions-Rams game would be flexed to Sunday night or Monday night. You would think that, but maybe even Bills-Patriots. I don't know. It's weird. They should let the fans make the schedule. I think we know better. Okay, so there's a thing going around saying that Gronk said he would come back. Well, I watched the interview where Gronk said he would come back. He was kind of joking. Like, he was making conditions that were so ridiculous. It's the same thing as saying no, basically. So I don't think he was for real on that. I don't think he was serious on that. But even if he was serious, what he said is not good. You still wouldn't want him because he said he would just practice and help prepare the team for the tight end that next week. So there's no way that I would pay Gronk $1 million or more, whatever, to come back and not get to play him, not get to put him on the field. Are you serious? There's no way. So I think he was joking about that because he knew nobody was going to do that. I only can practice Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And that's all I do is practice. I don't even play. I don't know. That's weird. So I think he's kidding. But you never know. You know, I miss getting to dress up like Cam Newton. That was fun. Cam Newton says he felt disrespected that the Colts signed 44-year-old grandpa Philip Rivers before even calling him. Should Indy have reached out to 36-year-old Super Cam? Okay, so this retard, Destin Adams, says Rivers is 8 years older and definitely not in as good of shape as Cam. Okay. But what kind of shape? That's important. But the entire reasoning that the Colts are trying this is due to his understanding of the playbook. It arguably would have been more insane for the Colts to sign Newton out of retirement than Rivers. Okay. Good point and not so good point. The good point is about the playbook. That makes sense. Bad point is about being in shape. In shape how? Because Cam's game is a physical game. It's different. Has Rivers still been throwing? You know, I don't care if Rivers, has a few pounds on him or something. Can he still throw the ball? And if he can still throw the ball, then it just doesn't matter. So this is what the Colts are asking for. This is what they're looking for with Cam. Okay? I'm sorry, with Philip. They are not looking for Philip to be Tom Brady out there, okay? And winning the game and slinging the ball around. That's not what this is. What this is somebody who understands the plays, who will inspire the team and make them believe. Because right now the Colts think they're done. The team, they're depressed. They don't care. They're finished mentally. Bringing Philip in there, who is like a psycho, okay? He's going to inject. He's just going to inject drugs right into that team. And it's just going to wake everybody up. It's like, whoa. Okay? So just his presence alone is going to make the Colts feel that they can save this season because they can make the playoffs. So they just need to not fall apart here. They need a quarterback that just won't screw it up and won't shit himself in the situation. That's what they're looking for. They want to play defense, they want to run the ball, and a quarterback that can inspire and they feel like they've got a chance. And Philip fits that. You really want Cam walking through that door, learning the playbook again, trying to figure out everything that's going on, and then with his attitude, and why would you do that? Philip's a professional. He's going to come in, he's going to do what he's supposed to do, and you don't have to deal with anything. So 44 or 38 makes no difference. 44 or 36 doesn't mean anything if you can still throw the ball, okay? If you can throw the ball and do those things, those minimum things, you can still be effective. It's not that big of a it's not as crazy of a leap as people are acting like. I know people are making jokes and they're funny, and I even laugh at some of them. But the truth is 44 is not that old. All right. It was decades ago. It's not today. It's just not. And if you can still throw the ball, you can still play quarterback. I mean, this is a perfect time to come back as an old guy because it's the weakest era in NFL history. So if there was an era that you were going to come back to as an old guy, wouldn't it be this one? Of all of them, wouldn't it be this one? So people are still thinking the way it was before, where you're 44 years old, it means you're trash, you're finished. But I mean, is he any much different than Aaron Rodgers right now? Is it, I'm not talking about consistently playing. I'm saying as far as age. But Philip, he's not been playing, right? But he's also not been dealing with anything. So I don't know. Again, you're not asking him to be Superman. You're just asking for a professional leader. That's what you want. That can make the throws when needed. The throws you need on 3rd and long, the throws you need in the red zone, those are the things that you're asking him to do. Can he do those things? I think he can. Okay, I do. I think most quarterbacks who played from this generation can do that. So they'll be fine. And honestly, I love this story. I love it. I love an old guy coming in, and then if he beats Seattle, that would be funny. That would be hilarious to watch. That they had to go to the old guard in order to keep their season alive because the young guys couldn't do anything. That would be hilarious. And then all of us can say, I told you so. So fix it. Start training your college kids better. Just, that's it. So, all right, guys. I've had a good night. This has been fun. I'll see you Sunday. Okay. What does that feel? And again, Elf, thank you for signing up on Patreon again. I really appreciate it. Thank you for your super chat. All right. So I guess that's it. And I'll see you guys very soon.
VonAllen Sports.
This is Patriots linebacker, Super Bowl 49 champ, Darius Fleming, and you're watching VonAllen Sports. Real and honest NFL analysis. Subscribe now. Join the empire. VonAllen Sports, let's go!
VonAllen Sports. VonAllen Sports.
This is the man with the most badass name in sports. The Pharaoh, the Egyptian god himself, Amon-Ra St. Brown. And on behalf of my man VonAllen, we want to thank you for your support. Let's fucking go.
VonAllen Sports.